Slime Rancher's sequel, Slime Rancher 2, was announced a few hours ago, and the trailer is just so good. We're on what appears to be a new island with new species of slime, somewhere across the Slime Sea. I just wanted to make a quick little video listing off the things I want to be added, returned, or changed in the sequel. And there's no specific order to this list, I just want to list off the things I want added, changed, or removed in general. The first thing I want is more islands to explore. The first Slime Rancher game had about 6 islands you could explore. There was the main island with the 4 areas, plus the 2 islands that acted as extensions of the Dry Reef and Indigo Quarry. Ogden and Mochi also have their own islands, which were essentially little trials that you had to do in order to unlock more ranch space. And finally we have the Glass Desert. Although not an island surrounded by water, it's still surrounded by an ocean, but an ocean of quicksand. But in the end, you're really only going to focus your attention to the main island and the Glass Desert. To combat this, the new game should add more islands with more uses to them. I mean, it would be great to see specific slimes only native to specific islands instead of certain areas. I mean, we can only hope we can revisit new islands, and hopefully we can revisit the Glass Desert or the Far Range. And traveling back could be made easy by going through the portals that were constructed by the ancient civilization in the game. And at the end of the trailer we see a glowing light in the background, which looks very identical to the light that shines from the portals in the ancient ruins. Also, we could see some statues of slimes that were also found near the ancient ruins. And a reason to revisit the old island is because certain slimes might be only native to the main island from the old game. And honestly, who doesn't want to see the Dry Reef in this new lighting engine? It just looks incredible. The second thing I want in this game is old friends. Throughout your playthrough of Slime Rancher, you'll receive optional fetch quests from other ranchers, each with their own ranch and their own backstory and theme. I was actually writing a script deep diving into these characters and their personalities and their themes as a follow-up to my last Slime Rancher video. But I'm not going to waste your time going into every little detail here, instead I'll just give you the shorter version. While doing fetch quests for Ogden, Mochi, and Victor, you find out more about why they became ranchers. Ogden used to own a company and they made really unhealthy and fake food, and he became a rancher because he wanted to create healthy food. Mochi hasn't spoken to her father in years after she was sent away on a quote-unquote special assignment to the range, but over time she came to realize that her father only sent her away because she was in the way of his work. And finally, Victor, a slime scientist who avoids contact with people because he's afraid about how things will turn out. Instead of taking a chance with people, he relies on buggy simulations to verify whether it's worth getting into a friendship or relationship with someone or not. But in the end, Beatrix helps them put all their worries to rest with the power of friendship. And long fetch quests, but mostly friendship. And I just love these characters and I want to see them return with a new story arc or a continuation of their story arcs being added while playing through Slime Rancher 2. Maybe Ogden's old company will shut down somehow after he overtakes them with his new natural foods. Maybe Mochi and her father will finally have a healthy bond and no longer have such a distant relationship. And maybe Victor can finally start reaching out to people and making friends. Friends with people who aren't Bob. And speaking of friends, that leads us to number 3, and that being co-op. And if you've ever played the first game, there's no debating it, you wanted co-op. But the developers constructed the game in a format where it's intended to be a solo experience, and if you follow the game's plot, you can understand why. And if you want more detail on that, I suggest that you look at the iCard above or link in the description below for my last video on Slime Rancher. Hopefully the sequel might be a little different in the themes in order to set up for a co-op mode, so it fits perfectly, because in the first Slime Rancher game, it wouldn't really make too much sense. But seriously, Monomi Park, we want to play this game with our friends, with the option of playing as Beatrix, a new character, or maybe even some of the old characters with alternate color palette options, and finally a 3D model. But of course with the exclusion of Thora West and Hobbs and Twilgers, because they might be getting a little too old for adventuring. And in all honesty, there's no need for them to return since their entire story arc was presented and concluded perfectly in the first game. The only other remaining characters in the game are Casey and Bob. It would be out of character for Casey to go on an adventure like this since they aren't really an outdoorsy person. And as for Bob, it's obvious he's not going to be playable since Bob doesn't have hands. I mean, it could be a stretch, but I could imagine Victor making Bob a type of robotic suit that he can use to capture slimes, but it wouldn't really make sense for a slime to capture other slimes. Well, actually, no, that makes more sense than the fact that Bob can speak. Also, Monomi Park, why can Bob speak? Number 4, the use of plorts. This isn't something we really need. But Slime Rancher has this in-game Slimepedia, which is basically a Wikipedia for slimes, where you can find out more about slimes, the fruit, and the areas in the game. And one thing we learn is the use of plorts. For example, phosphor plorts can be used to create natural light that can illuminate for centuries, and tabby plorts have been used to make athletic enhancing products back on Earth. In all honesty, I'm talking about an upgrade to slime science. We could make amazing things with these different types of plorts, like speed boosts with tabby plorts or health shields with rock plorts. But I personally just want lampposts. I have no idea what's wrong with me, but whenever a game gives me the ability to just place a lamppost wherever I want or make my own custom one, I just need to place it somewhere on the map. Basically creating stat-enhancing consumables with the slime plorts, and also the ability to make decorations with the plorts. And all of it based off of the Slimepedia entries. Alright, so the final thing on my list I consider to be kinda debatable. The trailer depicted the new slime-inhabited island as very spread out in comparison to the one in the first game. So in terms of space, I'm okay with that, but my issue with space in the first Slime Rancher game was inventory space and the spacing between corrals. I respect the developer's decision on only making there be 4 inventory slots that you can upgrade throughout the course of the game. I think it really teaches players how to manage their inventory given the limited space, and also gives a use to the silos. But it still feels like 4 is too little space, and at the very least 5 or 6 slots would be more comfortable. I just want to carry a slime, a fruit, a veggie, a chicken, and an item at the same time. And as for corrals, sometimes it just felt like they were too close together in certain parts of the ranch. And if you don't set up your ranch strategically, you can get hurt depending on the slimes that you have in that area. I just want a little more distance between them. And besides that, everything else about the corrals are fine. The exact height and space inside of them are perfect. Also, while recording this, I just remembered something I wanted for a while that I forgot to add to this list. There are toys in the first game that are used to calm down the slimes. It would be great to see a way to fuse the toys in the second game so they'd have twice the effect on fused slimes. Like if you had phosphorus tabbies, you can make a glowing yarn ball, something that satisfies both the phosphorus side and the tabby side. And those are the changes I want in this new game. I'm excited for this new one coming out, and I have high hopes. Also, remember to follow Monami Park on Twitter for updates on their game sales, because they tend to post whenever Slime Rancher's on discount or if there's an event going on. Anyways, that's all from me. Hopefully, if the Nintendo E3 Direct is good, I'm going to be making a video on that. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. God bless you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.